Hey y'all. Alright, so a big topic for me right now is truth, and truth has been a big thing. I think in the video I did earlier this week, I said, "To thy own self be true." But truth on a grander scale, with so much chaos that we've seen across the world, um, and you see so many people getting in front of it, trying to control the narrative. That's almost like control and controlling a narrative, like slash meeting up against truth. It's almost like there's a problem. So I decided to ask questions. This is like my new thing. Like I read this book that was like about Baba Yaga, and it was a book about where this woman would just ask Baba questions over a process and wait for the answers. And so I wanted to do something similar like that because I love writing, but I wanted to do it just more so asking source and spirit questions, and I just out four questions and see what they gave me. Oh, excuse me. What I'm about to like say is kind of real, so I'm just like, oh, throat shock already. They don't want me talking. Um, but when we're talking about who's in power, who's not in power, what's real, what's not real, AI, and all that stuff. My question is like, why are, or even like with the chaos we've seen in the world, and like people trying to say, well, who did what or who was involved. My real question was, why are like people going to so much trouble to cover up the truth, to cover up the realness to us? And like I said, not even just with the chaos we're seeing currently, when it comes to gender, when it comes to race, when it comes to religion, like there are so many things being covered up. And it's like, why is that occurring? And so the answer that came was to convince you everything you see is unverifiable. So like they're getting out there trying to control the narrative. So no matter what you see, you're unable to verify if it's true or not. Even like we see today, like say AI makes it impossible. How do you know if you really see the person or you don't see a person? Like I deal with hacking. Like someone hacked my stuff like the other day. Don't want me talking. And it's just like I had to tell certain people, all right, well, look, if you get anything from an account, like that's not me. But again, like say we go with AI and things like that, well, how do you know? And all these hacking and all this crazy stuff happening, how do you know it's not real? I mean, even still in a court of law, you can have like a smoking gun. Like in the way lawyers and words work today, like that smoking gun can be, thrown out, null and void, because it's just like they want to give you something to convince you everything you see is unverifiable. So my question was, I mean, y'all can see, I said, why do that? And the answer that came was to control the narrative. If you can convince everyone that the truth is fake, then you can keep the truth and the power to yourself. Well, I was just like, if I was in power, okay, I mean, when we think of places like, when you're talking about Christianity, or, a lot of people talk about the Vatican, things like that, how they have so much information that they're not sharing with the public. And I mean, it kind of, and even like how a lot of political government systems are run across every country. It's like, why are they not sharing certain details? And it's just like to control the narrative. Again, if you can convince everyone the truth is fake, you can keep all the power to yourself. And so let's just, hypothetically say, like, magic or things like that, or even aliens, extraterrestrials. I mean, were real. Why would they covet that? Well, obviously, because then, like, say, if magic has power, if extraterrestrials have, technology and advancement that, supersedes what we currently have, then yeah, they keep it to themselves, and so they do what they need to do, and they stay in power. And most people stay ignorant to the truth. And let's just say, like, if religion, let's say, a lot of people say that we're not here to say who's right, who's wrong. Everyone can believe whatever they want to believe. That is how beliefs work. I don't even care what country you live in. Just how beliefs work. You should be able to, should be in the key word, be able to believe whatever you want to believe in. So let's just say there are some people that believe that the Vatican and Christianity, Catholics in particular, are controlling or hoarding a certain type of knowledge that, they know the truth in how they ascend as people. But now they're keeping the general public possibly ignorant to that. So the general public does not ascend to their highest self or serve the Most High in, the best way possible. Well, again, I mean, people have always said, like, I play devil's advocate. It's just like, I can see, both sides of it. If I was someone that wanted power, like, yeah, I could see how that, I could see why you would want to hoard that. At the same time, there could also be a point where, sometimes people think they're doing the right thing. They think they know what's best for a person or the general public or their followers. And so possibly, keeping this knowledge that people aren't ready to know certain things. And, like that, I agree with, I can also see that too. I agree with that, especially being an intuitive. A lot of my friends, like, I will, like, know something, and people like, you'll know stuff, and you won't say anything. I'm like, exactly. Like, being intuitive and having some of the spiritual gifts that I have, it's like, that's not for the world. The Most High did not give it to everybody. It was given, to me, and there are certain things I know I'm not supposed to tell people that I know. And even if things I do know, like I said, just because I might know it, and you didn't share it with me, that doesn't mean, like I say, the Most High revealed it to me. But that wasn't meant that I was supposed to, be like, oh yeah, and I know this. Y'all, when I was a kid, that was a nightmare though. Like, when you're a kid, you don't know those things. And you're taught to, like, by your parents. My parents, like, they're little helicopter parents, they, literally, I had to tell them everything, like, everything that I knew, everything that I was thinking. And, I didn't have much privacy. But as I got older and I also started to understand my gifts, it was like, okay, well, I knew these things I don't say. And then I got in a lot of trouble. Like, I got in a lot of trouble, like, by grown people, because, like, I just knew things. And then they'd be like, well, how did you know that? And I'm like, well, I just know, So holding that type of knowledge, like I said, I can see people sometimes that are going through rough times, and I could give them the answer that would solve that problem for them. But now, if you aren't ready to receive it, if you aren't ready to do the work to solve the problem, I'm kind of wasting my time, breath, and energy. It's only till someone is ready to receive something. So, I don't necessarily know the powers that be, the people controlling the narrative. I don't necessarily know why they're reasoning for doing it, but being in a similar position, I just know, I'm told there are some things society's not ready to know, or a person's not ready to know. So it's just, if you can, until you're truly in that position, it's hard to say whether that person did something wrong or something right, or if they're trying to covet the power to themselves, or they're trying to help the greater good. We don't know. This card, like, really stuck out to me, and it says, sit, watch, observe, then make a move. And so it's like, ooh, I didn't even see this. You can't fix them. And that's kind of like, I think that goes hand in hand, where it's just like, sometimes we feel like the truth or the knowledge will fix everything, that'll solve the problem. If they only knew this, if they only knew this, or if they only told us really what was going on, then we know. Ooh, okay. But it's easier said than done. Wow, this is interesting. I don't know what this goes to, though. You got 2 bodies, 1 soul, pure love, and imprisonment. I don't know what it goes to. That actually kind of gives me like the eight of swords, kind of seeing that in my mind's eye, where it's just like knowledge can be power, but like knowledge can also kind of be like a prison to some degree, because you know what you know, but you can't share it. So sometimes you can always feel like isolated or alone or just stuck in your own head, because how do you move forward the knowledge? How do you know what to do? How do you know if you're doing the right thing? I mean, you really have to be intact when that two bodies, one soul. It's like you really have to be intact, in tune with your soul. You have to be in tune with your higher self and your lower self, because both you the light needs the dark just as much as the dark needs the light. Both have the answer. You have to be willing to listen. Reap what you sow. I think that's a great lesson right there. I think just how do you know if someone's trying to covet the power themselves, or how do you know if they're trying to do what's in the greatest good and the highest good of everyone? I think the answer truly will be in the actions and, the harvest and what they reap. You reap what you sow. So if you sowed something um, with the feeling of trying to hinder somebody, trying to harm somebody for malice or for ego or for self interest, that'll come out in the wash. But now, if you do something to benefit the greater good, to benefit everyone, that will you will see that will radiate in how you move, how blessed you are, how abundant you are. So when we just started with why is everyone trying to control what we see, and not necessarily sharing all the truth about what's going on, especially with all the chaos in the world. um we do say a lot of political figures are corrupt. We say that a lot. And some are. I'm not going to sit here and say that they aren't. I would just like for everyone to understand that sometimes things aren't as black and white as we like to think. And sometimes we really need to, especially stepping into this age of truth, we really need to start looking at things from another person's perspective, really put ourselves in that person's shoes. And that also ties into my gift when I decide if I'm going to tell somebody something I've heard or not, because I really have to step in their shoes and think how they think. And it's just like, okay, now, is this really going to help them, or is it going to hinder them? And some could say that's a God complex. I mean, you hear that a lot. Well, one would say, well, you're gonna have to take that up with God, because sometimes people just know things, or blessed with information, or blessed to find the right information, and that's 9 times out of 10 because God wanted to have it. There is that small percentage of people who just lie, kill, steal, and destroy. I understand them, but like I said, the proof is in the pudding. It's in what you reap that you sow. So do not be so caught up in all of that, what we're seeing, like even on the news. Do not get so caught up in that and think that we live in, I was listening to something. I mean, I love this preacher. I love watching them. So motivational. But they were just also saying, like, we're in dark times. The devil is running the country. The devil is running this generation. We're at the end of days. And many people have said that, and I can see that. But the whole thing for me is like, the devil is a liar. I will never give the devil that much power to say the devil is running the generation. No. Are there spirits out here that are controlling certain people and controlling certain narratives and controlling what we see? Creating AI, creating hack accounts, cars blowing up. Yeah, that's happening. I'm not going to say that it's not. But also understand the devil was running around when Jesus was around. Okay? Who do you think it was that sentenced Jesus to death? You think that was God that did that? It's a spirit that gets into people, and sometimes people of power embody this, devilish spirit. But now to say that the devil has complete control of a generation, like I said, the devil is a liar. I will never give the devil that much power, because the devil can only can pervert the creator's creations. That's all the devil can do. The devil didn't make, the devil didn't make you, the devil didn't make me, the devil didn't make the trees that we see out here. That was the creator. Now the devil can run around here and pervert it and knock down the trees. Okay, I see that, but it's perverting what the creator did. So I will never, and even though we're seeing so much chaos, guess what? Order rises from chaos. The light shines the most brightest in the dark. Do not give the devil that much power. Do not say the devil is running this generation. The light is running this generation. The creator is running this generation. And all of us who are feeling that resonate with that, we need to get out there and preach it. That's why I said God made this video, because it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to get out here and say it. We need more people to preach love. That's what we need in this world. More love. Less separation. And I also heard someone be like, oh, well, the devil is driving families apart. And the person I was watching say, he's keeping, families separate. And, one of my favorite books in the Bible, like say, you girl, I can talk on many levels, but one of my favorites is so this is the bottom of the deck, deluded attachments. Yeah, a lot of people are attached to things that are delusional. I see so many people buying stuff, and I'm not trying to be like, I wasn't one of them. Growing up, yeah, I had all the technology. I was going to make sure I had the latest whatever. Now I'm just like, I really don't care. I don't need that. I watch what I consume. I'm aware of what I buy. Christmas, I didn't want gifts, and people are like, what? And I'm like, no, I'm very aware. You know what? Saying happy Christmas to me and genuinely meaning it, or being in genuine company, or being around love, that's all I need. Sometimes we understand. I understand the creator has given me everything I need. I want for nothing. I want for nothing. But now this devilish spirit can make you feel like you don't have enough, or you don't have the latest whatever, or you're not rocking the whatever. And it's just like that they want you to feel that way, that you aren't good enough. You lack. You're lacking in something. That's a lack mindset. And we need to step away from that. And there needs to be more self-love. You need to love yourself. You need to love what you have. You need to know that the creator has provided you with everything you will ever need. I just got, it just sent me to a place. It's just, and it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to even take the standpoint that I'm taking right now. Like, not at all. Um, and I think that sometimes when we don't point out, like, that it's not an easy road. But now, do I want do I want other people to see how some of this lack mentality is being spread? Yes. And do I want people to feel like they are enough? Yes. And do I feel the best way to do that is by leading by example? I do. So I think that's what we need to do as people. We need to start leading by example. We need to step out, and we need to. I have no idea where that card went. It fell. And then after that is enjoy the silence. I don't know where deluded attachments went, but we need to step. Oh, no, it was just crazy because I was just talking to somebody today, and I was saying, well, I don't really use my phone on Fridays. I turn it off. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I try not to be attached to it. And like, as I stated before, I came from like a very like helicopter family. Like, we spoke all like maybe like 3 times a day. And I don't know, that's how I talk to them. I know they're watching though. I'm doing well. But it's just like, um, and part of joining the silence, what I was telling somebody today, enjoy the silence. You have to learn to sit with yourself. And a lot of times we struggle with that. No one wants to sit with themselves. And the person who I was speaking to, they're like, well, if I sit with that, then my mind goes to places that I don't like. And I don't want to sit with those feelings, so I got to move. I said, well, maybe the creator's trying to tell you something. Maybe you need to be uncomfortable to become comfortable. You need to be uncomfortable to change. Maybe that's the mission you're being called on. But because you feel uncomfortable when you're faced with it, that you don't want to deal with it. And I think that's where the distractions come in. That's where the overeating comes in. That's where the overconsumption comes in. Constantly want to find something or someone to watch or listen to. Or, I got to buy this, I got to buy that. It's trying to fill a void because we don't want to sit with ourselves. And then that's where, people start to control a narrative. To some degree, they're able to control the narrative, and they control what we can see, and everything we can't see be unverifiable. Part of that is because we are out of touch with ourselves. We want to be deceived. We want to be lied to. So because we want to be lied to, we want to be deceived, it becomes unverifiable. But if we actually sit with ourselves, enjoy the silence, and get to know ourselves, and if you truly know yourself, and or maybe even know the people, I think when people have all like these a million followers, people will look at my like stuff and they're like, you don't have that many, social media. A lot of people, or a lot of people would love to follow you. I'm like, on this platform, great, yes, because that's what I'm doing. But in my personal life, it's like I don't need all of that because I can't possibly know everybody. So if I don't know this person, and if something happens and someone brings it to me, yeah, this person did that, then I don't really know that person, so I can't even really defend them. But now, if I know myself, and if the core people know me, and they're like, well, that's not something she would do. More importantly, I know that's something I would not do. When I know myself, it's very hard to deceive me. It's very hard to trick me. It's very hard for me to be able to not verify what I'm seeing because I know. And that's that deep knowing. When you get to know yourself, it is very hard for someone to trick you. It is very hard for someone to get over on you. But now you have to be willing to do the work. You have to willing to go inwards, enjoy the silence, and understand exactly what the Most High is trying to show you.